Hi all you beautiful people out there, this is Shiki Glamour Makeup Artistry. I hope you're well and keeping safe. If you're one of my subscribers, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop a hot new video. So because today's tutorial is focused mainly on the eyes, it's mainly about the eyeshadow look, I already did the rest of my face, so I've already done my highlighting and contouring and all of that. I'm going to link all my previous tutorials which will teach you or help you to do everything: foundation, contouring, highlighting, color correcting, and all of that. Okay, so I'm going to start off by applying some of my translucent powder at the bottom of my eyes just to catch any fallout of my eyeshadow, right? Because I don't want to ruin the foundation and everything that I've already done. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. So I'm just going to apply a little bit at the bottom. So with that done, we're gonna start off. I'm gonna start off with a warm color in my crease using a blending brush. Okay, so I'm gonna use this color here. For a lighter skin person, you can go in with this color here depending on your skin tone, so you're going to use something that is kind of natural to your skin tone. So I'm going to just take a little bit of that, tap off the excess, and in my crease right to the inner corner, and what's left on my brush I'm just going to spread it onto my eyelid. Now that we've warmed up our crease and our lid, I'm going to start off in my crease with a red. So the palette that I'm using is Makeup Revolution, and I'm going to use this red here. So you can decide how bright you want to go. So you can use a bright red, you can use something darker. I really want to, brighten up my crease, so I'm going to go in with this red here, which is quite bright. So I'm going to use the same brush that I used first. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the red, tap off the excess, and going into my crease with the bulk of the product at the outer corner and then to my inner corner. Okay, and I'm going into my crease like that. Remember, I've already shown you how to find your crease. It's just to find that hollowness, and I'm gonna go in with some more because I really want that red to show. Now I'm happy with that. I'm going to clean off my brush and I'm going to go to the top where the eyeshadow stops, and I'm just going to blend that out. Now, just to give it some depth in the crease, I'm going to go in with this like an eggplant color. So you're looking for something that's like reddish brown, so using the same brush again, I'm going to pick up some of that, and this time I'm going to work just on the outer corner, and I'm bringing it onto my lid as well. So now I'm going to clean off my brush again, and I'm just going to make sure that it's nicely blended. Now we're going to darken the outer corner. It gives it a very smoky effect, and for that I'm going to start off with this brown. And by the way, this is a Ben Nye palette, so I'm going to start off with this dark brown and use this one here, a little bit bigger. So what it does, using a smaller brush, it's just going to keep the product a little, we're going to work a little bit more precisely in the crease, right? Okay, so this color we're also going to work just on the outer corner of the crease and on the lid as well. Okay, so I'm going to take some of my product and just on the outer corner and on the lid. Now I'm going to go back in with this same bigger blending brush, just clean it off, and we're just going to make sure that that brown that we put in is nicely blended. There's no harsh lines. Now I am going to use the smaller blending brush that I showed you before. If you don't have one, you can use the same brush again. So now we're going to go in with the black. So at this point, if you're happy with the way that looks, you don't need to apply black, or you can carry on with the brown, intensify it more as much as you like, or you can just stop here. It's really a personal choice, but I'm gonna go in with the black. And using the smaller brush, it's just going to help us be a little more precise than we were before, because I don't want to apply the black over the brown. I'm gonna work just a little bit like inside that brown. I hope you can see I'm working just on the inside of that brown and still in the V shape. Okay, then I'm gonna go in with my brush again and just make sure that that black is nicely blended. You can even use your small brush to blend out. For me, I'm happy with the intensity of that. I'm gonna leave it at that. Now we're gonna work on our lid, on the inner corner of our lid. So now I'm going to take my flat application brush and I'm going to apply, this is also a Makeup Revolution palette, and I'm going to use this red shimmer. I am going to wet my brush a little, so you can wet it with water or you can use your setting spray to wet it. It's really up to you. Wetting your brush just helps the pick up the shimmer. Now what we're going to do, where the black ended, we're going to kind of go on that line there where you can see and into the crease, and we're just patting it, but we're not going to go all the way to the inner corner. So it's really almost just like that centerpiece there. If you also just pull, it helps to apply. Remember, when you're applying, to also make sure that you get it right at the bottom, as close to your lash line as possible, because you don't want any gaps there. Okay, what we need to do is just blend out all the lines. You see there's some clear lines there, and you can go in there and just blend it out. A quicker way to do it would be to just dab into the black again, just very lightly, so I'm not taking on a lot of product, and go on that line, on that red line that you see, that red line. You can also hold your brush on the side and using just the point, not the whole thing, just the point, slightly on that line, and you just kind of pull that red just to blend that line out. Now I'm gonna take my blending brush, I'm gonna take the small one, and if you look, you can see there's that red that's just like a blob there, right? And then there may be some black from when we added more black, and I'm just gonna very lightly, using also just the top edge of my brush, not the whole thing and not like this, and I'm just going to blend it, and just back and forth movements, and I'm not taking the red into the inner corner, right there where it is, just blending that line out. That red that spread a little more, it's not a train smash. Just take a bit of black and we can just go back in there. So now that we've blended away any lines, you've added more red if you needed to, blended more black in if you needed to, and we have absolutely no lines anywhere, we're going to start working on our inner corner. So you can decide if you want to use silver, you want to use gold, how intense you want to make it. It's really up to you. I am going to use I'm going to do red and silver. So I'm going to use this by Essence Moonlight, and it's almost like a gelish kind of cream, right? So for this I'm going to use my flat brush. I'm just gonna clean it off quickly, and we're going to apply it just onto the inner corner, but we're not going to take it all the way to that very inner corner because that's for our final highlight. So I'm going to take some of this, I'm just gonna get some on my brush. Okay, and now I'm gonna start where the red ends, right? And just dab, and don't forget to take it there into the crease. Okay, so you could have used something like that I used, the jelly eyeshadow that I used, or you could use a powder one. So you can use white, or you can go in for something silver as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our blending brush again, and we're going to go in there. You can clearly see there's lines there, and we're going to blend that away. Because the space on the inner corner is very small, we're definitely going to use our small blending brush. So we're going to use it using just the top edge of our brush, and we're going to blend downwards, because you don't want to take this white or silver that you've applied back right onto the red. So we're going to blend downwards, and then on that line we're going to bring it inwards, the same like when we blended out the line between the black and red. Now that we've blended out any lines and we've made sure that everything is nicely blended, okay, if you want to give it a little bit more of a shimmer on the white that you've put there, if you've used white or it's not as shimmery as you like, you can go in with either a white like this, or you can go in with maybe a nice silver or something, just to very lightly just give it a little bit more of a shimmer. So I take my flat application brush, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of that white, and I'm just gonna dab. And by dabbing, you avoid creating lines, and you see it just gives it a bit more of a pop. So if you want to, it's not a necessity to go in and do that. I just felt like I wanted some extra pop. And then I'm just gonna go in with my little blending brush again, just to make sure that everything is nicely blended, and just to clean off any excess product that went there. And I'm not doing that, I'm not going back and forth, I'm just going down, because I don't want to spread that over, right? On that white or silver that you've added, I'm going to bring it inwards, right? So just to double make sure that everything is blended. Now what we're going to do is, everything we've done on the top, we're going to do at the bottom. So first I'm going to clean off some of the powder underneath that's just sitting right underneath there. Maybe I should use a smaller brush just there, but I'm not going to clean all this powder off, because we're definitely going to have some more fallout. So we're going to start off with our blending brush again, the smaller one this time. We're not going to be using the bigger one, and we're going to start off with the dark brown that we used. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this dark brown here, and on the outer corner, right? And as I'm applying it, I'll take it up and into that on the top, so that you marry the two, so that there will be no distinct line between them. There won't be a line here where there's no makeup, right? So we're going to try to match the intensity of the crease, and I'm working just on the outer corner. I'm leaving space for the black that we need to put in. Okay, so now we're going to go in with the black. All right, so I'm just going to take a bit of the black, and not on top of that, just very little. You want to kind of keep it lined up, right? So you can do that and just see how far. And I'm not taking it too in, and I'm not going over that brown that we've added there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back in with our red. So you can use your same flat application brush again, this time using just the tip, because remember the space that we're working with is very little, right? So I'm going to go in with that same shimmer red that I went in with the first time, and I'm going to try to use the measurements. I'm going to try to stick within that same space, but on the bottom, and using very light back and forth movements will automatically blend the red and the black. I'm going to clean up my brush, and using my brush sideways now, I'm just going to lightly in between the red and the black, just make sure that it's nicely blended. We're going to go in, I'm going to go in with that same white that I used the first time, using my flat application brush again. But this time I'm going to try to use just one corner of it because the space is very small that we're working in. And I'm just going to take it in that corner, and as I get to the red, I go very lightly, really very lightly, just to blend it into that red. Now I'm going to take my blending brush, using again just one of the sides, a small piece of it. I'm going to very lightly, very very lightly between the white and the red, just go in there and blend that line away. If you're white when you're applying, because we work in a small area, it could have gone a bit lower. All you do is take your blending brush, not the very big one, a medium sized one, and you're just going to blend on the color on the product that went low. You're just going to blend it and keep moving up, blend it upwards. Now I'm going to go in again with the same shimmer white. So if you added something over whatever you put on the top, on your lid, on the inner corner, you're going to do the same thing at the bottom, and just that's it. Now I'm just going to take my brush again, using just one little side, and just make sure that it's blended. So I'm going to push the product to the inner corner. If your product went too low, again same thing, make sure you clean your blending brush and go on the product and just blend it away. Now we're going to add some eyeliner just to darken at the lash line, and it adds to the smoky effect. I'm going to use gel eyeliner. This is a pot eyeliner, and this is Crayolan. Okay, so for this I'm going to use a flat slanted brush, and I'm just going to touch in the pot like that and get, you know, just a minimum amount of product. Don't get too much product on, and I'm using it just on the tip. And I'm going to close my eye, and I'm going to take the brush right to my lashes, and I'm just going to wiggle the brush because I really just want it to have that nice finished look. You know, eyeliner really gives it a finished look, and I also want my lashes to look darker, and it helps with the smokiness. When I'm applying the eyeliner, I'm not going to take it all the way to the inner corner. I'm going to stop somewhere there, okay? But I'm going to blend it into the lashes so that there isn't just like a stop. It doesn't look like, okay, the eyeliner just stopped there. It kind of blends away. To have a good idea of where to stop with your eyeliner, when your eye is closed, you can actually see where your lashes stop, and that's where you stop. So for me, this eyeliner is fine. I'm happy with this. It to be a very soft, smoky effect. Okay, so for my waterline, I decided I want to put a little bit more of a pop of a color. So I'm using this Essence Electric Blue eyeliner. It's a wind-up eyeliner. But for yourself, you can decide. If you feel that you want something really dark, you can go in with a black pencil and you can fill in your waterline as well as your lash line. If you don't want anything that dark, you can use a dark brown and fill it in. So it's really up to you what you decide to do. So I'm going to take mine, I'm going to hold my eye a little bit down, and I'm going to fill in my waterline, and I take it just to where my lashes stop, and then I'm going to fill in my lash line as well. Now that I've applied the eyeliner, the pencil eyeliner on my waterline and my lash line, I'm gonna take, either you can take a small tiny little blending brush. If you don't have one, your application brush should work as well, and I'm gonna go onto my lash line and I'm going to blend it out a little bit. That will just give it more of a smoke. It will work with the smoky effect. So before we go in with mascara, we're gonna take our blending brush and we're gonna go in with the first red that we put in our crease. We're gonna take a bit of that and we're gonna blend out all the eyeshadow that we put at the bottom, and we're just gonna blend it out. So I'm just taking a little bit, and when I blend now, I'm not gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, because I don't want the product to end up down here. I want to blend just underneath the product that I put there. So I'm gonna hold my brush like this, and you can look up if you not sure you can see where to put your brush. And when I blend, I take it just until where the white ends or starts. That's where I take it till. Make sure it's nicely blended, and as I get to the end, I take it into what's in my crease, for the same reason that we did that with the brown, just so that it doesn't just stop here, so it looks all nice and blended. You marry all the colors nicely. So now if you do have a big blending brush, then we're going to use this one now. If not, use the same blending brush that you had, but clean it nicely. Okay, and using the brush on facing upwards, I'm just going to use one part of the top edge and just make sure that it's nicely blended, because you don't want to leave a line, you don't want to leave any lines. And remember, as you're blending, blend up, so you need to blend up again, just to make sure that you didn't leave any lines as you did that. Okay, now before we go in with our mascara, we're going to do our inner corner highlight. So for this, you can either go in with the white or you can go in with a yellow gold. Because I'm doing a silver and red look, I'm gonna highlight my inner corner with silver, and this is a maroon eyeshadow and it looks a lot like this. So I'm just gonna take it from the lid. So I'm gonna use a very small blending brush. If you don't have a very small blending brush, you can use your applicator, your eyeshadow applicator brush, or you can use a small flat brush like this, using just the end of it, and we're going to highlight our inner corner. So I'm going to take just a very little, just on the edge, on the tip, sorry, of it, and I'm going to go into my inner corner and I'm just going to press it. Okay, that's it. I didn't rub it, I just dabbed it. And dabbing it, what it does is that it blends this highlighter into the color that's already there, so you're not going to have any lines, and we don't need to go back in and blend anything out. So when I'm highlighting, there's two ways that I can do it. I either just pop it on the inner corner, which is what a lot of people do, but I like to take, after I've popped it on the inner corner, whatever product is left on my brush, I like to just kind of blend it a little bit down and a little bit up. It just looks really nice. It just kind of blends all the colors. It kind of marries all the colors, and that looks very nice. The most beautiful application is blended. The most important thing is blending. You can use the most beautiful colors and you can have the most beautiful technique, but if your eyeshadow is not blended, it's not going to look nice. So we're almost done now. We're going to go in with some mascara. I'm using Big Lash by Essence. So before I do that, I'm going to go in with my lash curler, which is optional as well. I'm going to curl my lashes and then I'm going to apply my mascara. So when you're using a lash curler, you look straight into the mirror, you take the lash curler on top and you just slowly close it. I usually hold it for 10 counts and I release. So now that we've curled our lashes, I'm going to take my mascara and going underneath as close to the lash line as possible, and I'm going to first wiggle. That loosens up your lashes and it also coats the base. And once I've done that, then I start coating, and I usually just use what's still on because we haven't really used any product on the brush. And remember, when you're coating, don't just coat the edges, because then you'll find that it looks like clumps of mascara there. Take it from your root up, from the base up, and that just coats the whole lash and it looks a lot more beautiful. And our bottom lashes. So you're going to start at your waterline so that you coat your whole lash. Okay, so at this point, if you're going to put lashes on, then this is where you would put your lashes on, and then give it another coat of mascara, just so that you marry or you merge your own lashes with the false lashes. If you're not going to use any false lashes, then you can just give your lashes a good coat. Now I'm just going to dust the excess powder off my face, and we're done. This is it. It's a very simple, we've used really just like 3-4 colors. I try to make it as simple as possible and explain to you as simple as possible, and I'm sure you'll be able to follow this step by step. Off camera, I did my hair, put some lips on, and I'm back. I really enjoyed doing this tutorial for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed watching it, and I know that you're going to be able to copy this eye makeup application step by step. So whoever of you go out and do this look, please drop your comments in the comment section, because I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see photos of your look, and I'd just like to know what you thought of this video and how it helped you. Just drop those comments, and I promise to get back to each and every one of your comments. Before I leave you, I would like to leave you with my verse for the day, which comes from Philippians 4 verse 19. Check it out, it's very inspirational. See you in my next video.